Ryan and Mark were childhood best friends, practically brothers. They had known each other since they were kids, and now in their early 20s, they shared an apartment in a quiet suburban neighborhood. Ryan was a freelance writer who worked from home, while Mark was a night shift security guard at an abandoned factory. On most nights, Mark would leave around 9 p.m., leaving Ryan alone in the apartment until morning. But tonight felt different. "I'll be back by 6 a.m., Mark said, grabbing his jacket. "Don't open the door for anyone, all right?" Ryan laughed. "Who's going to come knocking at this hour?" Mark hesitated before replying. Just be careful." Ryan shut the door behind Mark and locked it. He turned back to the dimly lit living room. Something about tonight sent a shiver down his spine. The apartment felt off. Ryan sat on the couch, scrolling through his phone, when a strange noise came from the hallway, like someone whispering. He turned the volume down and listened. Silence. Shrugging it off, he got up to get a drink from the kitchen. As he opened the fridge, he felt eyes on him. He spun around, but the apartment was empty. Then his phone buzzed. A text from Mark. "Is someone else home with you?" Ryan frowned and typed, "No, why?" Mark responded instantly. "I saw someone standing near the window behind you when I left." Cold dread washed over Ryan. He turned slowly toward the living room window. Nothing, just the night sky. But then, his reflection shifted. A shadow moved behind him. Ryan spun around. The apartment was empty. His breathing was shaky as he texted Mark, "Stop messing with me." Mark's reply was chilling. "I swear I'm not." Ryan's grip on the phone tightened. He grabbed a knife from the kitchen drawer and checked every room. The doors were locked. The windows were shut. But in the hallway, something felt different. The door to the storage room, usually closed, was slightly open. He swallowed hard and approached it, pushing it open wider. Inside, there were only boxes and old furniture. But then his phone screen glowed. A notification. Bluetooth device connected. Ryan's blood ran cold. He didn't own any Bluetooth devices nearby. Then, soft breathing filled the room. Ryan bolted out of the storage room, slamming the door shut. He could hear footsteps inside. Heavy, slow, deliberate. The doorknob rattled. Ryan backed away, clutching the knife. His phone vibrated again. A message from an unknown number. "Why did you lock me in?" Ryan's stomach twisted. His hands shook as he dialed Mark's number. "Mark, someone's in the apartment!" Mark's voice was serious. "Get out now!" Ryan ran to the front door, but as he reached for the handle, the door clicked. Locked. Something was behind him. Ryan turned slowly. A tall, shadowy figure stood in the hallway, its face obscured by darkness. It didn't move, but its presence was suffocating. Ryan's mind raced. Had this thing been living in their apartment all along? Then the lights flickered and the figure lunged. Ryan screamed, stumbling back. His vision blurred, his body frozen with terror. Then, darkness. The horror unfolds. Hours later, Mark arrived home. The apartment was eerily silent. "Ryan?" he called. No answer. He stepped inside cautiously. The lights were flickering, the front door unlocked. As he moved further in, his breath caught in his throat. The storage room door was wide open. Inside, Ryan's phone lay shattered on the floor, and on the wall, scratched into the wood. "I was never alone." Mark turned, feeling a presence behind him. And then, the lights went out. Rachel had always loved the solitude of her family's old countryside house. It was a Victorian-style home, standing tall at the edge of a dense forest, far from the noise of the city. When her parents announced they'd be away for the weekend, she didn't mind. At 19, she enjoyed being alone. The first night was peaceful. Rain drummed against the windows, and she curled up with a book by the fireplace. But as midnight neared, the power flickered. The lamps dimmed, and an unsettling silence filled the house. Then she heard it, a whisper, software, almost unintelligible. A voice drifting through the hallway. She froze, heart hammering. The house was locked. No one else should be inside. Slowly she stood, every creak of the wooden floorboards sending shivers down her spine. She walked toward the hallway, peering into the darkness. The whispering had stopped. She turned back. A shadow darted past the staircase. Rachel gasped, stumbling backward. "Hello!" she called, her voice trembling. Silence. Her mind raced. Was it her imagination? The house was old, after all. Creaks and groans were normal. She locked her bedroom door that night, but sleep did not come easily. The next evening, the rain continued, heavier than before. Thunder rumbled in the distance. As Rachel sat in the living room scrolling through her phone, a loud knock echoed through the house. A slow, deliberate knock on the front door. Her blood ran cold. Who would be here, in this storm, at this hour? She hesitated, then approached the door. Looking through the peephole, she saw nothing, just darkness and rain. She exhaled, relieved. Knock, knock, knock. Louder, closer. Rachel staggered back. She grabbed her phone to call her parents, but no signal. The Wi-Fi was down too. Then from upstairs, footsteps. Heavy, slow, inside the house. Rachel's breath hitched. She hadn't gone upstairs all day. No one else was here. She bolted to the kitchen, grabbing the largest knife she could find. The footsteps stopped. Then, laughter, low, raspy, right above her. Rachel ran. She rushed into the laundry room, locking the door. She covered her mouth, shaking. Outside, something scraped against the walls. A long, dragging sound. Then the whispering returned, right outside the door. "Let me in, Rachel." Her heart stopped. She hadn't told anyone she was alone. For hours, she stayed locked inside. The whispering faded. The house fell silent. At sunrise, she crept out, gripping the knife. The house was empty. Maybe it had been a dream. Maybe exhaustion and paranoia had gotten to her. She laughed nervously, and then she saw it. On the fogged-up window, a message written with a finger. "You let me in last night." Rachel screamed. She ran to the front door, yanked it open. A hand shot out from the darkness, grabbing her wrist. Cold, rotting, fingers like claws. She struggled, pulling back, kicking wildly, until she fell backward. The door slammed shut on its own. She ran, no longer thinking, just running. She darted to the only place she hadn't checked, the basement. She yanked open the door, rushing down the wooden steps. Then, click. The door slammed shut above her. The light bulb flickered, revealing a room lined with old furniture. And in the farthest corner, a mirror, a tall, antique mirror, and in its reflection, a woman. Her face was hollow, eyes black pits. Her mouth stretched into a grin too wide for a human. Rachel turned. No one was there. She turned back to the mirror. The figure stepped closer. Rachel's own reflection remained still. The woman smiled, and then, whispering in Rachel's own voice, "I've been waiting for you." Darkness swallowed the basement. Rachel never came out, and every night since, in that old house, a whisper echoes through the halls. "Let me in."